If everyone is here, I'd like to say you're welcome to this 14th edition of the AMER Conference on Quality of Life. And you're welcome to this session, EFL, an activity theory approach. Do we have Dr. Leomin Hui there?
Yes, I'm here. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, good morning, everyone. Okay, today I'm going to share with you this topic, current trend of AI in higher education, self-directed ESL, EFL, from the lens of an activity theory approach. And this is actually an outcome from a systematic literature review. So AI has become the fastest growing force, in education. Like it reshapes how university teach, learn, and then operate. So around the world, trust in AI based on this AI index annual report. Now the trust in AI is rising with more people seeing it as helpful tools rather than harmful. So in higher education, AI is taking over routine tasks like offering real-time feedback, and it also helps the teachers, the instructors, to have their personalized teaching and learning procedure. So it make the higher education more open and flexible. Okay, so in the field of ESL and EFL, research shows that AI can actually strengthen the speaking vocabulary, grammar, and comprehension skills of the learners. Yeah, it also helps the learners to take ownership of their learning progress. However, challenges still there, like AI often struggles with cultural norms, like may fall back on literal translations, which can limit the deeper language development, especially the second and also foreign language learning. So, and while the generative AI, improves proficiency, and self-regulation in the learners, its impact on motivation is still limited, based on the previous research outcome. So we need to examine the current trends, carefully to ensure that the AI truly supports the self-directed ESL and EFL learning. So this is the activity theory, which used in this study. So this theory, activity theory, gives us a powerful way to look into how the humans and technology interact. So this model here shows how the subject, the tools, the object, the rules, community, and the division of labor all connect together to produce an outcome. So in this context, the learners actually used AI tools to reshape their practice, okay, while instructors, the developers, and the peers, they influence the adoption of the use of AI. So pedagogical norms here guide the consistency in self-directed learning practices, and the role are actually clearly defined, like such as the learners as an agent, so instructor as facilitators, the developers as the tool creators. So all the interrelation among these different parties is evidence of how AI can enhance the self-directed language learning. And this also helped to address the three research questions. The first, what research trends are utilized in AI-supported self-directed ESL, AFL learning? And which AI tools are actually currently most prominent? And how effective are these AI tools? So since this is a systematic literature review, we conduct a systematic search across these three databases, Scopus, WOS, and Education Research Complete, EBSCO host, and using the search word of self-directed, technology or AI, and also ESL or EFL. So this systematic literature review follows the PRISMA guidelines. And then finally, we included 76 publications. So the publication selection, the time frame is between 2020 to the first quarter of 2025. And we make sure that all of the included publication has the clear description of how they use the AI tools and what are the outcomes in the context. So here comes to the results. So look at the first figure on your left. So between 2020 and 2022, the research output in AI-driven self-directed ESL, EFL learning was modest, which averaged only 4 studies a year. But start from 2023, the number jumped to 16, and by 2024, it rose to 40. So activity theory helps explain this situation. Yeah, like learners actually they pursue language goals with personal aspiration, where the AI tools mediate and reshape their study behavior. So these ongoing interactions generate valuable data and also the performance metrics. So researchers analyze this data, this information to refine the AI models, publish new studies, and then propose the best practice of frameworks. So driving innovation, and it actually helped to the rise in the research, yeah, since 2023. Well, 2025 data, as you can see here, the limitation of our research is actually we collected until the first quarter of 2025, so we only got 7 studies. So future research is suggested to expand the research, yeah. And the second figure on your right hand side is actually showing that the China stands out as a leading contributor to research on AI-supported self-directed ESL and EFL. So this reflects the rules dimension of activity theory, where the national policies and the norms shape how the learners and tools interact. Like China's strong adoption is linked to its new generation AI development plan, yeah, and also major state investment in this field. So these initiatives go far beyond other countries. So future research should explore these trends more deeply and draw insights that can strengthen AI use in different contexts, not only China, yeah, other countries as well. And the training AI tools right here, based on our the findings, chatbot has proven to be the most trending tools nowadays. Yeah, and the second comes with the AI-powered language learning platform, for example, Duolingo. Yeah, and the third we have 2, which is ASR that helps to convert the spoken language into text, and also AWE that evaluates the writing languages like Grammarly. Yeah, so the division of labor plays a key role, yeah, in how the AI tools are adopted in the context. So learners who use the AI chatbot regularly, yeah, sharpens their skills, okay, and also raise the visibility of these tools. Yeah, for example, the chatbot, right? So at the same time, any administrators, yeah, maybe they will provide training and licensing for the effective AI tool. So altogether, these efforts ensure that the particular AI tool is used in a widespread way across the learning environment. Yeah.
Okay, you have 3 minutes more.
Okay, so based on the effectiveness of AI tools right here, the result is aligned with the concept of outcomes, yeah, in the activity theory, representing a dynamic result, which shows that all the elements in the activity theory, yeah, it actually comes up with the outcomes. So we can see that the AI tools nowadays, yeah, it's more positive than negative, yeah. So the study points out the key limits of current AI tools in self-directed ESL, EFL learning in this table. As we can see that like the chatbot, it has emotional and cultural insensitivity. So what can we do to solve that problem? It's like this study suggests the integration of different tools, not only AI. Yeah, we can also integrate non-AI tools such as videos, yeah, which can help to provide more cultural knowledge for the learners. And if like the chatbot ASR, they gave the inaccuracy information, so we can use the convention dictionary or digital dictionary to find out the true meaning, the true answers for that. So this study also suggests that we can consider the integration of AI with non-AI tool as well, as long as it helps the students' learning. So as a conclusion, this review is grounded in activity theory, yeah, with all the elements. And it also shows the most prevalent AI tools that can help the students. And there are also some limitations and gaps highlighted in this study. So future research could adopt a broader scope of source, to further research, in this field. I think that's all from me. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you for that presentation on the current trend of AI in higher education. And I'd like to welcome the other presenters in this session and other people attending, whether they have questions for Dr. Leo and the team or contributions for them. But I would just like to ask whether, since you found that culture, are you hearing me clearly?
Yes, yes.
Yes, since you found out that culture, the cultural angle is important, in terms of the use of AI in higher education. What did you find about in literature, towards integrating the cultural perspective into AI tools? Were there any particular significant findings in literature?
Okay, you mean in terms of the culture? In terms of
Yes.
culture, use like the culture in the use of AI or in the field of English learning?
Yeah, in putting together the AI tools for English,
Yeah.
are there
Okay.
some cultural inputs into the knowledge base of the AI tools being
Yeah.
used?
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Thanks. Like the cultural part, actually, because I'm focusing on English as second and foreign language, like
Okay.
in the context of Malaysia. Okay, like in the context of Malaysia, English is as a second language learning. So the we are actually following the British English, and besides like using totally following the British English, actually we have to. It is important to like merge and integrate the culture from other country to Malaysia. Yeah. So like not only English, like Mandarin also same. Yeah. Like in our Malaysian context, there are some terms. Yeah, there are some words that we have it already switched, it already changed, which to be more stable to be used in the country to the Malaysian context. So if we lack of the awareness of the cultural and the needs of our country's context, they will might mix up or they will like confuse when they using the language. Yeah, they have to know the different culture in Malaysia and also the when they use the English or Mandarin internationally. Yeah, and for the because this study is a collaboration between Malaysia and Indonesia. Like Indonesia, the English is teach as foreign language. Yeah, same thing happened like Indonesia. They have their own culture, the different terms, different festival. They have their own term that representing their own personality, personal like the culture of the Indonesia. So we even though we follow everything from the AI what have been given by the AI or maybe from other country, we have to like filter as well so that it is most suitable to be used in the country. Yeah, it is not only for English, Mandarin, Japanese, other language also same. Yeah, so this is why I think the culture is very important, and this is actually supported by the literature I found, which I think I listed in the literature review. Yeah, some of the research also highlight the importance of culture awareness, and also the awareness of how to interpret the suitable or not suitable things to be used when the information given by the AI tools. Yeah.
All right. Before I suggest something, I like to ask, since this is a literature review, what is your next level in this research? Haven't done this literature review.
Okay, so actually, this literature review is just the start of our research. Our full research actually, after we done this, okay, we are going to look into what are the preferences of the student nowadays by using the AI tools, and what are their awareness in using the AI tools to support the self-directed learning. So from that, we will come up with a model or guideline like this. From this literature review, we suggest this one, like this slide here, we suggest the integration of AI tools with other tools like AI with another AI, AI with non-AI tools. So uh, the next step is we will suggest the guideline or framework or model that to guide the instructors the proper way to select, to choose the AI tools which they can merge together so that uh, they can use it wisely, and they can optimize the tools that can fully support the students' learning. Like for example, they want the student to write a script for the reading lesson. So they can start with the non-AI tools like looking for the video, the text, okay, to got that input. And then they come up with a draft. Then they combine with the AI tools like Grammarly to paraphrase. After that, like they go to the ChatGPT and then to get the feedback. And at last, they go back to non-AI tools like they use the digital dictionary or the phonetic website to check on their pronunciation and so on. Yeah. So with all this integration of the tools, it will enhance the students' learning and to overcome the issues I listed right here, like the information accuracy issue. Yeah. So this is the our plan for
All right.
future. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Leo, for that paper on AI use in linguistic studies. Of course, my suggestion would be that you look closely at this cultural context of, making use of AI tools is so important because your literature review actually reveals it. Even for those that are developing, I thought, you could collaborate also, even with people in sciences, computer science, that are developing AI tools, to look at the cultural input into the knowledge base of AI tools. And that would be a very interesting thing. Are there any other suggestions for them or contributions? If there's none, we'll say thank you very much for this presentation. We look forward to seeing you at the next conference with your updates on this line of research that you are in. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Prof.
Thank you. Let's take the second presentation. That's AicQoL2026. That's on reward and punishment strategies in character building of students with special needs. And it's going to be by Nosofra Mohammed.
Good morning. A warm welcome to the chairperson, respected fellow researchers. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share our study today. My name is Nosafra Muhammad Zafar from UiTM Negeri Sembilan, and today I will be presenting our paper entitled Reward and Punishment Strategies in Character Building of Students with Special Needs. Students with special needs, such as those with autism, ADHD, or learning disabilities, often face emotional and behavioral challenges that require more than just academic interventions. In character education, especially moral and value-based development, how teachers respond to behavior matters greatly. And rather than focusing only on control mechanism and compliance, this study looks at reward and punishment as ethical and educational tools. What makes this study unique is its attempt to integrate Western behavioral theory with Islamic ethical perspectives, particularly in the context of special educational classroom. Our study is grounded in two key perspectives. First, Skinner's operant conditioning theory, which explains how behavior is shaped through reinforcement and consequences. And the second theoretical base is from Islamic concept of targhib wa tarhib, as discussed by Imam Al-Ghazali, which emphasizes encouragement and warning in a balanced and compassionate way. So both perspectives highlight that reward and punishment should aim to nurture moral development, not instill fear. So the research question of this study is, how do Islamic education teachers adapt reward and punishment strategies to instill moral values in students with special needs? And the study employed a qualitative case study. Data were collected over 12 months in special educational needs classroom, and using data collection using classroom observations and interviews with teachers and parents, and also document analysis. And all ethical procedures were observed, including anonymity and informed consent. There are four main themes that we found in this study. That is, we found in the first theme, types of rewards. We found that there are two main types of rewards. And first is verbal rewards, such as simple praise like good job, Ahmad, that's said by the teachers to the special needs students. And second, non-verbal rewards, which included smiles, gestures, giving stickers and small gifts, and also assigning helper or leader roles toward the students. Interestingly, non-verbal rewards were often more effective for students with special needs. The second theme is reward strategies. Okay, what reward strategies were highly individualized. For example, one teacher shared that an autistic student disliked direct praise or physical contact, but enjoyed longer break times. So, additional break time was used as reward, showing how understanding the students' needs is essential for effective character building. So the third themes, that is about types of punishment. Punishment was applied in the classroom in a non-harmful and educational manner, and the teachers used verbal reminders, loss of privilege, and also natural consequences. For instance, a teacher allowed a student to experience the consequence of not arranging chairs before gently intervening. This approach encouraged responsibility rather than fear toward the students. And the last themes is about principles of punishment. Three principles guided punishment. There is no physical harm, no emotional harm, and a balance between firmness and empathy. Teachers often used supportive language, such as the teacher asked students, are you okay today? Do you want to sit with Ustazah for a while? And discipline in this context was seen as care and guidance. For example, the teacher said to the students, it's time to study. And now it's time to study, so hit here first, and after finishing, I will accompany you for a walk outside the classroom. And this is for the student, the special needs student who cannot stay for a longer time in the classroom and also want to have to walk around the corridor and so on. So this study contributes by first integrating Islamic ethics into behavior management. Second, highlighting empathy-based discipline and emphasizing the effectiveness of non-verbal rewards. In conclusion, reward helps build moral habits, while punishment, when applied gently, encourages reflection and growth. Effective character building for students with special needs requires customized and value-based and empathetic approach. Ultimately, nurturing character through balanced reward and punishment contributes not only to moral development, but also a better quality of life for students with special needs. So thank you very much for your attention. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Nusafra, for that very brief and direct presentation of your study. The other attendees here, do they have questions or do they have contributions to this study that talks about reward and punishment for students with special needs? Yes. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. Thank you, Dr. Nusafra, for the presentation. It's a very interesting research. So I have my question regarding to the methodological process of this research. So is there any like a structural system in the process of your observation regarding to the looking at the behavioral pattern from your student? Is there any assessment that took place during the data collection? Thank you.
Thank you for the question, last question. Actually, the observation in the classroom focus on how the teachers are using a kind of reward and punishment to the students, and the frequent observe until with the smart checklist that what kind of reward that the teachers use for ADHD student, and also what kind of reward that teachers use for the other what do you mean, what special needs student, and this kind of observation, and then we list down in the checklist when we observe the classroom until we have a certain pola or certain pattern that we identified, and then emerge the teams for the these studies. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions or contributions for them? I guess it's because you didn't dwell too much. You said you used a qualitative. It's obvious that you did a qualitative study. And then
Yes.
I think that question arose because you did not talk about if the particular maybe protocol, the kind of design, what number of people were interviewed, like what is the mode of observation, the methodology aspect, you didn't dwell on it too much in your presentation. I hope that in the original paper, the methodology is broadly described, more described than it is in your presentation. I think that's what Dr. Veronica, was trying to take you up on. Or do you have additional information on the methodology that you want to share with us quickly?
Thank you, Prof. Actually, the participants that was involved in this study is involved 7 teachers in the classroom.
Okay.
What do you mean? In Malaysia, we have a PPKI, Integrated Special Education program. It is a system within mainstream schools for students with special needs, like learning disabilities. And in this system, students attend special classes but can interact with mainstream students, and this can fostering social inclusion among them.
All right, that's good. So now that you've done this qualitative study, how are you taking your study to the next level? What is the next level in this your study?
For the next level for this study, actually, we want to have a framework, a fully framework on how these teachers instill character in education for these special educational needs students. This is one of the studies that is about teaching approach that teacher use, reward and punishment, and also there are, after this we will come to the reward and punishment, and then what teaching approach, what other teaching approach that teachers use in a term to educate special educational needs students to instill moral values.
All right, that's fantastic, Nusafra. About the next level, we would like to encourage you for the next level to now do some broad-based literature review, that cuts across the rest of the world about education of students with special needs. So you can have a broader-based perspective, in looking at this education of people with special needs. And we look forward to you presenting it at the Quality of Life conferences organized by AMER.
Thank you, Prof.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. So we'll move on to the next presentation quickly. It's on evidence-based design of learning environments for information literacy development. And we have Wang Haiyin.
Okay.
And two others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Your co-researchers, are they in this conference?
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Haiyin, Wang, your co-researchers, are they in the conference?
Okay, I share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we're seeing your screen.
Okay,
clearly.
okay, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Thank you gave me an opportunity to present our study here. Good morning, everyone. My name is Wang Haiyin from University Technology Mari in Malaysia. Today, I will present our research on learning environment, evidence-based design of learning environment for information literacy in development. This is cooperative work with Dr. Nahayat Hossein and Dr. Zhang Wenxue. Yes. Let me start with the main challenges. Sorry. Okay. Medical knowledge now doubles every 53 days. Students can't memorize everything. They need information literacy, the ability to find, evaluate, and use information for clinical decisions. In China, because the development is unbalanced, like in the western of China, Ningxia province, the source of technology is immediately. So for this area, how to develop the information literacy? From the existing research in China, for this undeveloped area, the more than 60% medical students classes is lecture center, is use lecture, because in China most of the lesson is teacher center, not student center. So we think maybe we can use the pedagogical strategy to develop information literacy. This is our objective aim. Next, now let me move to our research objectives. We have 3 objectives. First, extend the SOR mode to education. This mode has been used for stores, cities, and website. We show that teacher design is also environment design. Second, review the process. We focus on information seek behavior as a process, not just as an outcome. This helps us understanding how learn happens. And the third, create a unified framework by clumping different series into one protect mode. The benefits for researchers, we provide test-type hypotheses. For teachers, we provide clear design principles they can use immediately. Yes, with this objective in mind, let me now explain the theoretical foundation of our work, the SOR mode. SOR mode means the stimulus, organism, and respondents. Environmental forces tackle intelligent process, which product outcomes. This classic example in retail store formulas affect customers' feeling, which lead to buy decisions. Our adaptation for education. Stimulus, then three environment factors, problem aesthetics, scaffolding, intensity, and collaboration engagement. For the organism, information-seek behavior, regardless needs, strategy search, and reflective evaluation. Response for the three, like the teach methods, this skill can transform literacy. The key idea, teach methods, not just approach, they can environmental stimuli that shape learn behavior. Yes. Building on this framework, we now let me now elaborate on the three environment decision dimension for the stimulus components. For the problem aesthetic means use real clinic case with incomplete information and unclear decision. For the scanning intensity means providing structure support that change over time. Start with strong support like temperatures and examples. And for the cooperative engagement means small group discussion, peer teaching, and share problem solving. This match real healthcare teamwork. So in summary, as aesthetic critique creates the why to search information. Scaffolding provides the how to develop the information literacy. Collaborate enables critical thinking. So you might be wonder how did we develop this framework? Let me briefly describe our method. Our method is a theoretical sensitive. We climb in three research areas: environmental philosophy, medical education, and information science. We focus on school aspect because the information literacy most of the research focus on the students' ability, but we focus on the school. We focus on the policymaker. How to decide an environment for in university for students to learn, to give students to environment to develop their information literacy. Yes, this now let me say how this piece come together. Here is the completed engagement framework with 9 hypotheses. Level 1 show how environment affect behavior. Aesthetic problem lead to new recommendation. Step feeding lead to the structure thinking. Cooperation lead to the reflect evaluation. The left to show how the behavior develop competency. Yes, existing research also that the thinking behavior can improve the information literacy of the students. So the level 3 is the mediation effect. The most important part, information-seek behavior mediate the relationship between the environment design and the information literacy development. So have present have presented the framework. Let me now explain the underlying mechanism that make it work. First, aesthetic problem correct knowledge gap, which motivate search. Scaffolding show expert methods students can learn. The cooperative creates discussion that develops critical thinking. The second, repeat practice, making skill automatic. Structure thinking build awareness of how search work, and reflect evaluation develops the ability to change knowledge. The third is the mediation, show how internal support become internal ability. Through practice, scaffolding, that start exam become students' own skill. Important note, peer knowledge, digital literacy, and the cultural background all matters. We need present personality design. So, what does all this mean for the research and practice? Let me turn now to the contribution and the practical implications. Our theoretical contribution, we show SOR mode, working for education. We review information seek as a process. We integrate a series into the framework.
You have 2 minutes more. You have
okay,
2 minutes more. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Our theoretical contribution is SOR. We show SOR work for education. Then we integrate theoretical into our framework. For research, we can test this hypothesis. We can collect the data, then analyze the data, give the outcome to develop this framework. Now move to the practice application. Yes. First is finally let me conclusion by the points. Then look forward the future research. First, the SOR framework work for the education. Information seek behavior is a key mechanism. Our three principle for the can guide the teacher to design the environment. Look forward, we see several future research decision, test our hypothesis with real studies, track students over years, compare across special and cultures, create, adopt and personality teaching pedagogical teaching method or pedagogical strategies. In conclusion, our main passage is by design learning environment in medical education, we can develop information skills needed for evidence-based medical practice. Thank you so much. Welcome your question and discussion. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Wang, for that, I'll say, very theoretical presentation. Are there any contributions or questions for the researchers, Wang, Hussein, and Wenzu? Are there any contributions? Okay, let me ask you one question. Explain in 1 or 2 sentences what is the problem statement of this research that you're on.
Okay, for this research, the problem statement is focused on how to design the environment, then to development the medical students' information literacy. We focus on China undeveloped area because in that area, the technology foundation is not very well, because the source is very limited. The economic is not very strong. So for this area, the most medical students, because nowadays they want to develop their information literacy, but they have no strong foundation to develop this. So how to overcome this issue? How to address this problem? We focus on the because most of the time the medical students, they have class with lecture. So if we use this is the development. We can development this environment, because in classroom, pedagogical strategy is very important, like the problem-based learning, case-based learning, project-based learning, like this. Because in medical students, real work environment, they always work together, yes, with a team. So we want to focus on pedagogical strategy to design environment for the medical students. Then through to lead them, to teach them to how to seek behaviors, how to think the through the information seek behavior, like how to find the information online, how to discuss together, how to evaluate this information like this. Then through this behavior, then practice more and more, then to develop their information literacy. This is our problem statement. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So you're trying to develop like a model or a framework to make learning and teaching of medical students easier, okay, that's what. Okay, now my suggestions for you is that well, is this still a literature review, or have you developed the model or the framework?
Thank you. This is a conceptual framework. This is also we give a conceptual framework, because we have a lot of literature review, but in this presentation, because the time limited, so we not show a lot. This is a conceptual framework research.
All right. Okay. Thank you. I think that okay. What is the next phase of your research right now?
Okay. Next phase, we plan to have a quantity method to collect data, then to test this hypothesis, which can support, which can't support. This is we next work. Thank you.
All right, that's very good, because I was going to say, actually, this your model or framework is extremely theoretical, and you need to apply it, you know, in terms of practice and application. And I know that this the next phase of your research will make it more explicit, you know, what this your model or framework is about. And that will be quite interesting, because for anybody that's outside your field looking at this, it seems extremely theoretical, you know, without pointing to the practical aspects of it. And I'm happy that that's where you're going at the next level. So we look forward to seeing the application of this, your model, practically in the learning environment of medical education. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, your suggestion. Thank you.
Yes, yes. All right,
thank you.
Let's take the next presentation then on homeschool partnership for accelerating Malaysia B40 people's literacy and Numeracy Skills. It will be by Associate Professor Madubala.
Yeah. Hi, Prof. Good morning, or rather good afternoon from Malaysian time.
Yeah, good
you can call
morning.
me Madhu. Yeah.
Okay.
So let me put this on
So you have 10
slide.
minutes.
Can you see?
Yes, we can see your slide.
Thank you. So let me begin. The title of my study, or the book that we had worked on, is Homeschool Partnership for Accelerating Malaysian B40 Pupils' Literacy and Numeracy Skills. And these are my three other co-authors. And this is generally the background of the paper that I'm going to talk about, the content. Right, so background of study, we've started looking at learning gaps. And this was more evident during the COVID, not only in Malaysia. It has been something that has been researched, talked on, debated, looked at by many levels at the academic level, university level, researchers and all. So we looked at learning gaps, particularly for Malaysians, what we call the B40, which is deemed as the lower income group. And we looked at how these kids are still strong at the critical competencies of developing multilingual and numeracy skills. In Malaysia, as most of us are aware, it's a multiracial country. With that, the need for developing or having this proficiency of multilingual literacy and numeracy is critical. So we looked at also the current policies and practices that are here. So the first policy that I'm highlighting is the Malaysian education policy, which stresses also on and highlights on parents as learning partners. Other main policies in place are the National Education Policy, Shared Prosperity Vision, Government Transformation Program, and the 12th Malaysian Plan. These policies also highlight issues on language proficiency, numeracy, and parents' engagement. In line with SDG 4 and 10 that looks at inclusiveness, equality, and quality of education. Looking at all this, we know there's also this concern that Copenhagen has highlighted that people should be able to read by age 10. And being unable to read will constrain their abilities to further learning and later mathematical outcomes. Now, there were two studies in Malaysia based on our literature. In both the studies are involved. One is the Smart Partnership in Reading, okay, and the other is I'm sure. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I'm seeing your screen.
Smart Partnership in Reading that looked at developing 5-year-olds English literacy, and the other is the study that looked at using of multilingual mobile storybook reader to develop multilingual literacies using e-storybooks. And these two studies have presented positive correlations. We found positive correlations between parental involvement and 5-year-old preschoolers' literacy skills. And as Siti and her team has highlighted, parental involvement is a positive and powerful source for achievement. Yet, in Malaysia, there is no homeschool model to restore and accelerate B40 pupils' literacy skills. Having this in our mind, we're addressing 3 research questions. How willing are parents to form a partnership? What factors affect the formation of the partnership model? And what makes up a sustainable homeschool partnership model. The literature that we looked at was literacy and numeracy, and there's a strong link and predictive model that shows that each of these skills are interrelated and are linked and predictive of each other. And we also found that children with lower income are disadvantaged in acquiring these skills. And like I mentioned earlier, mastering of the multilingual, which is Malay, English, Chinese, and Tamil, is paramount because the children learn these languages in schools, depending on the school that they attend. We also looked at homeschool links, and these links have found positive impact on literacy development among low-achieving pupils from low social-economic families, parents with limited literacy, and parents from lower education levels. This did not hinder their involvement, nor the development in enhancing the children's learning at home. We also found critical drivers of factors that affect effective homeschool partnership. As you can see here, I'm not going to read them out each one, but these are some of the factors that look here as drivers. And in underpinning the study, we looked at Vygotsky's theory of social interaction, constructivism, and the key concepts of language and social interaction, scaffolding, and soon of proximal development, or fondly known as the CPD. So, the methodology that we adopted is a two-stage design conducted in Malaysia's Klang Valley to develop this model. So the first stage is where we looked at the integrative review of the literature, framing the problem, looking at the literature review on learning loss and the B40 constraints, and we looked at parental involvement to anchor the study in terms of policy and evidence.
Professor Bava, you have 3 minutes more.
Oh my dear, okay. All right, so I'm going to skip this in terms of the study that we collected from 24 interview. All right. So from this study, we used QDA minor lit to analyze our data, qualitative data, in terms of thematic coding to form the model. What we found was there was a consensus across the school community signaling a strong foundation to support the homeschool partnership. All endorsed the formation of the homeschool partnership. However, because of work commitments, there was limitation on site participation for some parents, but they are willing and ready to scaffold the children learning at home. So that looks at a shift in creating a flexible, acronymous mode of contribution. So this collaboration or cooperation is a decisive lever for raising B40 pupils' literacy. So with this, we have come up based on our thematic analysis. We have come up with 12. Okay, each of these are the drivers. I'm not going to read the drivers out individually, but these are the 12 drivers. The details are in the paper. This is the model that we have come up with based on Vygotsky's theory and the feedback that we got. So these are the small boxes that reflect individual boxes of this. So this is due to the limitation of the computer. This looks at an upward progression to restore and accelerate the children's literacy skills, numeracy skills within the CPD. And time is a matter of simplification. Each of these appears moving upward, but in actual fact, it may be moving backward and forward. So within each of this box, you will see this, where school and home work together to scaffold the children's development in the ZPD, creating social and physical interaction with the materials that they prepare. And parents and teachers work together, where the teachers also scaffold the parents, and parents therefore scaffold the children where needed. These are the drivers as parents work together as partners, and the processes involved in developing the children's literacy and numeracy skills, beginning with creating the environment, mediating the process of developing and restoring and accelerating the children's literacy, where the children eventually will internalize the social interactions with the books and the materials that they work with, provided by the school. And as the children internalize this, they also apply it. They're able to apply the acquired skills with or without the adult assistance, where ZPD talks about relinquishing the role of the adults. And eventually, the children will be moving towards mastery of the skills.
Professor Bava, I hope you just have 1 or 2 sentences to conclude.
Yeah. So this is basically the model, and this is our recommendation for schools to adopt it, and further studies to look at surveys, quasi-experimental and possibly mixed method approaches to assessing this impact and the cost effectiveness of HSP components. That's all.
All right,
Thank you. But before I
very
forget,
much.
sorry, this is funded by the Ministry of Higher Education under the Fundamental Research Grant.
Bava, thank you very much for that presentation that ends with a model for home school partnership in B40 education. Are there questions or contributions to the researchers on this model? I'll quickly, there's something very interesting that you found in literature that I want you to throw a little bit of light on. To say that the education level or the education status of the parents do not affect their contribution in the partnership. Is that really?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Yes, you found something in literature that is very interesting, that the status of the parents in terms of their educational level does not affect their partnership.
Yes.
In this model.
Yes.
You found it in literature.
Yes.
But is it really practicable?
Yes.
For the education level of the parents not to affect this partnership?
Yes. In the 2 studies that I highlighted earlier, there were parents who were illiterate, who were unable to read or speak in English, and who have different levels. Most of them were only at secondary, and we had a few who were not even completed their secondary years. So yes, we had different levels of education parents in this study.
Okay, you remember that your study focuses on pupils' literacy and numeracy skills.
Yes.
Well, I like to suggest that maybe in your next studies, you could separate literacy skills and numeracy skills, and then really look into whether the status of the parents in both or in each of them might not affect this homeschool partnership, in developing the students in both directions, literacy and numeracy. Because I think is something that needs to be subjected
It is.
to study and research. That is how, whether the status of the parents actually will not affect this partnership. Okay, what's the next level that you want to take this research that you plan to take?
We are looking at copywriting the model and coming up with guidelines based on feedback that we would like to get from the schools and parents.
Okay.
So we drawing up guidelines.
Okay. I can see that Dr. Sally wants to contribute to and ask a question. Or say something. Can you please ask your question, Dr. Sally?
Prof, I already mentioning our chat box, but yes, I can say the question. So it's very interesting research. So I have a question. Before you mention it, Prof. Madbarat mentioned about the background of the parents' education. How about the parents' culture or their habits while they're spending their time with the children? Is there also considered in the process of this research? Because I believe that in the parental involvement in lower education, they need the process of the culture and habit from the parents. Thank you, Prof.
Yes. We look at our composition of participants. They are made up of all three races. The Malays, the Chinese, the Indians, and the indigenous groups. So then this is the reason why we ensure that we are getting a very culturally based background or foundation for this model. We did not look at only one school. We looked at 4 schools with 4 different racial background that would actually come up to helping us to come up with something that is not going to be culturally biased, but able to support any form of culture that can be applied in schools and home.
Okay, thank you very much. What is pretty obvious about this research is that the characteristics of the parents becomes very critical. And that's an area that, this research can actually benefit from if there's more studies, in this area. Thank you, Professor Bava, for that very great presentation about home and school partnership in bringing education closer to the lower income group. So we'll take the next presentation then, if there are no other contributions, which is on adversity quotient profiling among polytechnic students. It's by Mohammed Effendi Ewan. Are your co-presenters on?
No, just me, myself. All right, okay. Okay, thank you so much, Professor Emmanuel. Okay, can I start now?
Yes, you can. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to the chairperson, Prof. Dr. Emmanuel, and fellow friends. Today, I would like to present more about my field, measurement and evaluation, more on the psychometric parts. And the research presentations is all about the adversity quotient, AQ profiling among polytechnic students, but this is from the Rush logic setting, from the Rush analysis. Before that, I want to elaborate more about the adversity quotient. What is actually the adversity quotient? Is a measure of resilience. We gauge the ability of the students to face the challenges, recover from failure, and endure the adversity. And we believe that the AQ is a predictor of success. And originally, the AQ came from the corporate environment, and now we want to transform to the field of education. For the AQ, we have 4 constructs, and this is based on the core model, adapted by Stokes in 1997. We have control, and control is how the person feels they have over an adverse event. And then the ownership, the extent to which one accepts accountability for improving the situation. And the reach is on about the perceived to affect other areas of one's life. And the fourth element is the endurance, the perception of how long the adversity and its consequences will last. What is the contribution for this research is actually on the profiling style. Before this, we believe that when we rely on the ordinal Likert scale, it will be less precise because it depends on the classical test theory. But now we want to transform to the rush measurement model that rely on the logics, which is more accurate and depending on the interval logic scale, which provide the greater precision. And why we really we need to concern about this, because it will bring the greater accuracy, dynamic profiling, and a foundation for better intervention, because we want to cater the person with low AQ. When we look at the AQ, actually the AQ is correlated with any other Q or the quotient. The AQ is actually correlated with the IQ, intellectual quotient, the EQ, emotional quotient, and also the spiritual quotient, or we call it as the SQ. It helps people, especially for those who study in the polytechnic or the technical students, to survive, creating success, solving problems, and facing the challenges. AQ in education is unique because we highlighted that the literature mentioned the studies often indicate low AQ levels, but we do this profiling to cater the person with high and low level of AQ students. And we see that the demographic differences are reported, and males tend to have a higher AQ based on the literature review. And we have a significant gaps in research exists, but sadly, is a very little research focusing on AQ levels in polytechnic students, but more on the corporate environment. That is why I take this initiative to focusing on the polytechnic students. Based on my research, for the methodology, we involved 1,845 polytechnic students using survey, and the participants were sampled from 5 zones: West, North, East, South, and Borneo. And we use the proportionate stratified multi-stage cluster sampling. And for the instrumentation, we apply the AicQoL instrument. The AicQoL instrument is actually the Malaysian instrument of measuring AQ, but adapted from the AQP, Adversity Quotient Profile, by Stokes, and consists control, ownership, reach, and endurance. And we assess all the items using the rush analysis, such as item fit, unidimensionality, and also the local independence as well. So in short, we categorize the AQ into 6 levels, from very high, high, above average, below average, low, and very low. The national profiling, most of the students are in the middle of the resilience spectrum, which is 25.58% is on the medium low and 24.99% is a medium high. So we can conclude that 50.57% of the polytechnic students are clustered in the middle AQ levels. So the adversity quotient profile, the findings show that the female students show higher AQ than the male. So from the logic value, the specialty about this research is how we report the data and do the profiling. Previously, we report the mean score, but now we report using the rush logic setting. So the female mean AQ is higher, 1.69, and the male is 1.472. And overall student AQ distribution, very high, contributed 10.89, and very low is 9.27%. According to the program in Polytechnics, the Marine Engineering Department, students reported mean AQ score with 1.899, the highest among the all programs, and the West Zone Polytechnic also dominated with the 1.711, highest average among all regions. as a snapshot, the finding, it shows that rather than we looking at the female students report, the overall AQ level shows that the polytechnic students got the moderately low AQ. And the first year students have the highest among the second year and the third year, because the first year of student is still struggling in terms of the adapting the adversity in the polytechnic. But female students is higher than the male because the polytechnic technical student dominated by male. So the female student also struggle and they need to be more brave in terms of cater all the problems inside the polytechnic. AQ profile varies by study program and the location. So the JKP program is the highest and the Western Zone students is the highest as mentioned just now. From data to action, how this research give an interesting implications for the polytechnic education. What we need to do is for the targeted support is needed. The overall medium-low AQ profile as a signals a clear needs for the intervention in terms of the resilience. And we need to address from the core, control, ownership, reach, and endurance. The reach endurance is the quite low. So we need to train them explicitly in terms of how they can coping strategies to compartmentalize academic stress and prevent it from affecting other life areas. And we should learn from high AQ groups of people and sustain the first year resilience, because the first year is at their peak. So we need to sustain the first year and ensure that they are not dropped until the third year.
Dr. Mohammed.
Yes.
You have 3 minutes more.
Okay, this is my last slide, Prof. Okay, so before I end my presentation, I would like to highlight the certain thing. What is the unique thing about this research is the first, we developed the profiling with new style from the raw score to the rush logic setting. And the second uniqueness is we convert from the classical test theory from the raw score to the IRT, item response theory, using the logic. And how this contribute to the body of knowledge. First is on the psychometrics quality, that we extend and expand the idea how to do the profiling accurately. And the second part is to detect the low AQ polytechnic students for the intervention. So what's next? We want to identify the weak low AQ person for the intervention. And as a conclusion, we believe that this conversion score from the mean score to the rush logic setting can guarantee the accuracy, bigger picture, and more diversity in doing the profiling. That's all for my presentation, Prof. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much for that presentation on adversity quotient of polytechnic students.
Yes.
Are there contributions or suggestions for the collaborative team that did this research? Because it's one of the highlights of it.
Yes.
Let me quickly just ask, compared to earlier studies on adversity quotient, what are the significantly different findings from earlier studies that are in this study?
Okay. Based on the earlier studies, what the difference is on the gender perspective. Basically, from the earlier studies, it shows that male AQs is higher than female. But in the polytechnic, female students is more higher AQ than the male, because the environment in the Malaysian polytechnic is different, Prof. So what I can say is the female students need to cope with every challenges and hurdles in the polytechnic. So the spirit of the female students to endure in the polytechnic is higher. So that is a different thing from the earlier studies.
All right, that is interesting. Before I make, I want to know, or we want to know, what would be the next phase in this research?
Okay,
What
thank
is
you.
your
Okay,
next
thank you, Professor, for the question. The next phase absolutely on the intervention, because basically when we do the profiling like this, our aim is to detect and cater the problematic low AQ students. After we detect the low group of students, we want to prepare them to give an suitable intervention to increase the grit, resilience, and adversity quotient so that we can prepare them with the very challenging job environment later. Okay, that's it.
All right. Now that you have stated that, I want to look at where you started from. That this AQ study, the significant gap you saw is that it's not been applied to polytechnic students before. It's been used in the corporate sector. It's been applied to people in the corporate sector a lot. Now, when you are breaking down AQ, you mentioned three things. You talked about IQ, you talked about SQ, you talked about EQ. This logistics framework that was developed or that is better than Likert scale, does it break down these three components of AQ?
Okay, thank you, Prof, for the questions. Basically, when we rely on the philosophy of the education in Malaysia, we hold the formula of Jerry, the physical quotient, emotional quotient, intellectual quotient, and also another one, physical, emotional, spiritual, and intellectual. So what we need, rather than just focusing on the profiling, I also did the research on how this AQ correlated with the IQ, EQ, and SQ. So the output that we get is the EQ is the most contributed quotient that affect the AQ rather than IQ and SQ.
Okay. The implication of this is that your research needs to be looking critically at these components.
Okay, the implication is on the philosophy of what the philosophy in the national Malaysian educational setting. In Malaysian educational setting, we are not put the AQ in our philosophy. We're focusing on the IQ in EQ and SQ. But now in this research, when we believe that the AQ has an effect on the IQ, EQ, and SQ, so the implication is this is the time for Malaysian to insert and put the AQ to our philosophical educational national setting. Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. I also like to like nudge you on that these three components needs to always be broken down, you know, when you're looking at these AQ studies, because eventually it's going to affect even your intervention. Because your intervention studies needs to look at these three or even more components of AQ if possible. You know, thank you very much for that presentation. We look forward to you presenting the advanced forms, you know, of the later works that you're going to do in this area. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. So, Dr. Sally, I thought you were trying to ask a question. No.
No, Prof. Thank you.
All right. So we'll take the next presentation then on local satisfaction and evaluation for co-created sustainable tourism in Pengerang. So do we have Professor Dr. Nulisa Ginting on ground? Yes.
Yes,
You're welcome.
I am also in the meeting room, Prof. But for this session, the Sally Veronica will be present the paper.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Yeah? Same to you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, Dr. Sally, 5:45.
My screen, Prof.
Yes, thank you. You have 10 minutes. to do it.
Okay, well, thank you for the time and for the opportunities. So I would like to present our research here about the local satisfaction evaluation framework co-created for the co-created sustainable tourism in Pangururan. So in our research team, we have a Prof. Nurisa Ginting here as our leader for our research, and also Dr. Wahyuni Zahra and me, Sally Veronica, and also we collaborate with Prof. Rosilawati Zainal from the University Malaya. Okay, so as the introduction and the background of our research, we are deciding to do the research about the local satisfaction as the framework of the sustainable tourism, especially for the co-creation of the tourism in the Pangururan city. Pangururan is part of the Samosir Regency. Pangururan is the one of the sub-district in the Samosir Regency, which is part of the Lake Toba. When in the 2019, this area already decided as part of the national priority tourism destination, and they have a huge and also rapid tourism development in the Pangururan. And based on the international recognition, Pangururan and the Lake Toba also part of the Global Geopark Network. And in since 2016, it's already decided as part of the UN tourism, as part of the International Sustainable Tourism Observatorium, and we observing the and monitoring the process of tourism sustainability in Pangururan. And during the decision of the national government that decide Pangururan as part of the super priority destination since 2020 until 2024, there's a rapid development, especially in the Pangururan waterfront, that obtain the process of the co-creation and the local satisfaction. So local satisfaction is one of the mandatory issues that need to be observed during the sustainable tourism monitoring. So this research aims to evaluate local satisfaction as the framework to assess how the co-created sustainable tourism development in Pangururan. So the objective of this research is to measure the levels of the local satisfaction in Pangururan from the local communities, and also to examine the co-creation influence for the tourism development in that area. So in the literature review, we did the research for the theory of the co-creation as the collaborative process in the sustainable development in Pangururan, and also how is the local satisfaction can capture the residents' evaluation of tourism impacts. And we look at the four aspect of the sustainable tourism based on the social, economic, and also the cultural, environmental, and also management sustainability. So based on our research, we found that three groups that we can develop the surveys and also collecting the data. There is the tourism impact, the process of the participation and the involvement of the local residents, and also how is the sustainable tourism development in the area. In the methodological, we are using the mixed method analysis while we obtain the quantitative data, including the 355 respondents in Pangururan. All of the respondents is the local communities there, and we are deciding to use the purposive cluster samplings in the qualitative data. We did depth interview and also field observation. In the depth interview, we using the semi-structured interview involving the governments, local governments, and also village and customer leaders and local tourism actors. In the depth interview, we found out that there are two of the most impactful groups in the Pangururan, including we know that is a Pokdarwis from Pokdes Sadar Wisata, or we know it like a group that affiliate the community to be part of their progressing for the sustainable for the tourism development, and also the business developed by the local government. We know it as the BUMDes. And also in the field observation, we are collecting the visible environmental condition and also stakeholder interaction. So this research, the triangulation across the surveys, interviews, and observational data to enhance and credibility of the findings. So here is our findings based on the three groups of the local satisfaction exam. We found that the highest scores is in the process of the tourism impact of the life and the living place, whereas there is some of the uniques from the Pangururan communities. They are shifting their habits. In the beginning, they are most of the communities they are farmers, and when the tourism activity coming to the Pangururan, they open up their perspective to the tourism. So the impact of the tourism itself giving positive impact for the communities. So another participation and the involvement, the scores is a 3.34. So it's quite an average, similar with the sustainable tourism environment. So based on the findings and of our research, we found that from looking from the social economic, from the co-creation of the sustainable tourism in Pangururan, the evaluation of the social economic for the community, it's already give the positive impact. It's also giving the strong performance, giving the opportunities for the local community, shifting their income from the farming into the tourism. But still, it's not uneven because the focus of the socioeconomic impact, they are more focusing for the community that affiliate with the group that I mentioned before, including the Pok Darwis and also the BUMDES that are running from the local governments. And this needs the inclusion for the mechanism of the social economic from the cultures. We see that the development, rapid development from the tourism in Pangururan is still strengthening the local identity and local pride, even though they have some of the risks in the futures because most of the tourism development, they are looking at the trends and they are like adapting the trends into the area. So it's need to be granted how they can be proud more for their Bataknese cultures and using that highest values for the cultures instead. From the management, there are some of the strongest co-creation among the institutional actors because the governments already involved the communities since the beginning of the planning, execution, and also the operation of the sustainable tourism in the Pangururan. So the border resident participation remains limited because the focusing still in the group that affiliate in some of the process under the government's involvement. And also in the environment, there are some of the positive. So basically the community already have their awareness about the needs to make sure there's environment still good, and because there is some of the investment of or their asset in this kind of the tourism. But yeah, the problems of the cleanliness and the hygiene still becomes a problems because to maintain this point, it's not only the local community factors, but it's also must be involved with the tourists that coming to the area. And also,
Sally,
yes.
you may have to round up in the next 2 minutes maximum.
Okay. So yes, one of the complaint by the local satisfaction is from the transport noise, light, and also the pollution, especially in the peak season of the tourism. So here's we go for the conclusion. I separate the conclusion based on the four elements of sustainable tourism. So in the social and economic sustainability, we need to maintain the benefit of the growth and make it more inclusive to expand the impact not only for those that affiliate to the some of the groups, but also for the community that running their own business. And also for sustainable management, it's a power need to be power limited. So it's to make more an inclusive of the participation for the local communities. And about the cultural sustainability, it's need to be strengthening the identity and the pride of the communities about their unique values from the Bataknese and the environmental sustainability. it need the visible commitment during and also a more strong system to be involved not only the community but also the tourists that coming to the Pangururan to maintain the cleanliness and the hygiene of the area. I think that is all from me. Thank you, everyone. Feel free if you have any question.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Sally, for that interesting presentation on sustainable tourism and how local satisfaction, impacts or contributes to sustainable tourism. Are there any questions or contributions for them? All right, let me quickly ask about something. Or in your methodology, you didn't interview the local people. You only you only interviewed the administrators, the politicians, the public institutions. Is there a reason, a particular reason for that?
Yeah. So, in the process, thank you for your question. So, the process of the, especially for the qualitative, we are also involved for the local tourist actors here. So, we involve not only the uh, residents that affiliate to the group, but also all of the residents and the local communities that become part of the process of or the tourist actor itself. So we like we do the random sampling for the community that running their business, even though they're not affiliate for the some of the group that obtaining by the local government or obtaining by the some of the particular communities in Pangururan.
All right, I can see that it's a mixed method with triangulation, and it's really like a very wide scope study, that has qualitative and quantitative. But, in terms of sustainable tourism, I'm sure the team will have found out maybe through a longitudinal view of what has happened in that tourist territory, that the economic and the financial matters may end up taking over the cultural and the identity, the cultural and the environmental sustainability issues. Did you observe anything like that? And what are the recommendations of the team to make sure that the economic and financial issues don't take over or don't override all the other ones about cultural sustainability and environmental sustainability and sustainability management? What's your comment about that?
Yeah, in our findings, we found that one of the challenges that's become the risk of the cultural impact, how is the, like I mentioned it before, how the trend of the tourism can be impacted by the cultural, while we need that to support the social economic. So in our recommendation, we have to look at the opportunities from the locals' values of the cultures and how we are not following the trend, but we can build our own trend with our own culture as part of the process to enhance the social economical impact to the area.
Professor Balva, it seems you have a question. Can you raise the issue? Well, yes.
Thank you. I'm wondering when you talk about culture, because most of the time you seem to be focusing on it. How did you find culture based on the feedback that you had given by the participants? How did you find that incorporated because you're looking at specifically one region, and you did not really tell us the cultural composition of the community there.
Okay. So what's your reaction to that, Dr. Sally?
Thank you, Prof. So, thank you for the question. So, how we can incorporate the culture in the Pangururan? So, one of the information in Pangururan, they are more homogeneous communities. They are having one big color of the culture, that is the Bataknis. So, this Bataknis has become rooting by the residents in Pangururan, and they already like enhance the colors of the Bataknis in the process of the tourism development in that area. But the one that we are looking at the risk for is how the cultures of the we know now we have the globalization and global information that people easily to adapt whatever they see as the trend from the outer of the area to involve it in the Pangururan. So that is why we are looking at the sustainable tourism by containing more for their local values instead of looking at the trends, and they can evaluate and also use and optimize what they have in the Bataknis culture as part of their uniqueness in the Lake Toba.
All right, thank you about that explanation. What is apparent is that there's always a conflict in terms of the economics, the cultural, the environmental, when it comes to sustainability. And then being able to really look into these areas, you know, in studies becomes very important. In fact, normally the economic rules a lot of times, you know, when people are interested in the financial returns, you know, they want to maximize returns from tourism and all that. So many times there's always that danger. And I think everyone agrees that you need to look critically at that. Now, talking about that, what's the next stage of research in this area that you want to focus on?
Okay, so the next stage of this research, we are in this research we are looking at the local satisfaction as the part of the framework to evaluate the co-creation, and the next stage is how we can make the system to look at this local satisfaction to be maintained by the local governments as the process of the decision making for the next and of any further development in the sustainable tourism itself.
Okay, that's interesting. Public policy, you know, to regulate and to take care of these conflicts that we're talking about. All right, fantastic. We look forward to seeing your presentation and progress made in this direction, you know, for the world, for global knowledge. Thank you very much. All right, we'll take the next presentation then. That's is a literature review on 30 years in aging tourism, past, present, and future trends by our Professor Chichenok.
Jatika Suma. All right. Okay, testing. Can you hear my voice here?
All right. Okay.
Right. Can you guys hear my voice?
Yes, we can see you.
Wonderful.
We can hear your voice. We can see your slides. You have 10 minutes.
Right. Try my best. Okay. Assalamualaikum and good day, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Jatika Suma, and today I will be presenting our research title, A Literature Review on 30 Years in Aging Tourism, Past, Present, and Future Trend. So this is actually a collaborative effort between Phuket Raja Ampat University and University Teluk Timara, Sarawak. Over 10 minutes, I try my best. I will try to explore how the field has evolved from a niche market segment into a vital pillar of the healthy aging and quality of life. It is actually a paper of my friend from Thailand, but she be able to do, so I have to replace her. Then I try to answer questions. Okay, right. To set the stage, we are witnessing a global shift. Sorry, my slide's not moving. Okay. Later, life is no longer viewed solely as a period of decline, as a time for active engagement. This shift, combined with massive tourism expansion, has made the intersections of gerontology and tourism a fertile field for research. Crucially, we are seeing a shift in focus. Tourism is no longer just about leisure. It is being recognized as a strategic intervention for life satisfactions and healthy aging. Oh, sorry. All right. If you look back 30 years ago, early research was often limited by ideological biases. For instance, this engagement theory suggested that aging naturally involved withdrawing from society, which led to very limited tourism offerings for seniors. Conversely, active theory insisted that social activity was mandatory for successful aging, which unintentionally excluded those with health or mobility constraints. This early theory shaped and sometimes restricted how we understood the aging travelers. Right. Why the slide is sensitive? Okay. The rise of the silver economy, age group 50 plus, market value 100 millions. But the late of 90s and early 2000, the narrative shifted towards the silver economy. So we realized that the 50s plus demographic is the powerhouse, possessing more spare time and spendable income than younger cohorts. This economic impetus changed everything, moving research from simple market segmentation to a more sophisticated interdisciplinary engagement with the aging population. Okay, so here by look at this past research gap, while early scholarship often reproduced stereotype, we have moved into a new paradigm. Today, the focus is on quality of life. Tourism is now viewed as a therapeutic, non-pharmacological intervention and indirectly enhances well-being and positive aging outcomes. Okay, so this is slide number 6, isn't it? Okay, right. While scholarship, what does it look like in practice? We see 3 major trends now. Wellness travel involving nature, nature-based activities and meditation to provide meaningful engagement. Multi-generational travel, which is vital for buffering social isolation and strengthening family bonds, and slow travel, which prioritize deep, less fatiguing experiences that accommodate diverse functional level. So, I think I missed one. So here, sorry. We must also address the digital landscape. All the adults are increasingly using mobile devices for planning, booking, and in-trip support. However, barriers like security concerns and poor usability remain. The solution lies in human-centered design using virtual reality for accessibility and AI for personalization while maintaining strict privacy standards. For future directions, looking ahead, our research points towards a QOL-centered roadmap. We need scholarship that is inclusive, evidence-based, and ethically grounded. We must move beyond the average senior travelers to include diverse experiences, including those of caregivers and those with varying cognitive or physical abilities. Okay, so to understand why this matter, we look at 4 dimensional of QOL. Physical health, tourism promotes mobility and reduce mortality risk. Psychological states, it fosters emotional resilience and cognitive simulations. Social relationship, it is a primary tool for combating isolations. Environmental conditions, it provide meaning through heritage and immersive experiences. So last slide for me, well, within 10 minutes. In conclusion, aging tourism has evolved from a simple market segment into a multi-dimensional framework for healthy aging. We have moved from viewing tourism as mere leisure to seeing it as a key to longevity and life satisfactions. As researcher and practitioner, our agenda must now integrate critical gerontology and ethical technology to ensure tourism remains as a strategic contributor to the global well-being. By the way, thank you so much for your time, and any suggestions and questions are welcome. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Jati, Professor Jati, for that, Jati Ali, for that
Yes.
presentation. Do we have contributions? Do we have questions for them? While we're thinking about questions for them, I found something interesting at the beginning, that in early research on tourism of the aged, that there was some ideological bias, and it didn't go beyond that one sentence. Ideological bias. What was the ideological bias in research on the aged?
Because right, people assume that old people, they are not really be able to move and actively involved in tourism. That is why we want to look at another angle, that actually those who are aging population that are potentially to be a potential customers in tourism as well. As long as we provide them a proper place, a proper plan for them, they are actually very potential for us to explore. They have money, they have time.
Okay.
Okay. Right.
Okay. Okay. I have another question. I think the aged that engage in tourism, they are already assumed to have the resources to pursue their tourism intent. Now, is there a way of looking at the resources that's available to the agent in pursuing this activity that is so good for their well-being? Okay, because when you look at, or maybe I'm looking at it from a developing country context rather than a developed country context. In a developed country context, the aged already have the system taking care of them, in terms of retirement benefits, public spending, and all that. In a developing country context, where you have a lot of informal economies, sometimes the resources that's even available to the aged can be limited, to pursue tourism. Is there a way of, in the 30 years of study, was there any discovery on that?
Tourism is not only we look at sightseeing and looking at the places for the reason of relax and etc., but we also look at the medical tourism, you see. So countries like Malaysia, for example, now we are receiving lots of people from Indonesia for medical tourism. So for the tedious kind of analysis, we can see this is part of the economic contributions under medical tourism, as well as other for sightseeing as well.
Okay. Are there any other contributions or questions or suggestions for them? And while we're talking about that, what is the next stage in this research beyond the review?
All right, now it's still in the stage of analysis of literature. So the next one will be, we will focus more on the specific regions or country that focus on aging tourism. One of them is Thailand, one of my team member. So we focus on how Thai able to utilize of aging tourists visiting Thailand as part of the main destination other than young people.
Okay, I'd like to suggest that as part of well-being, you also look at the resources that's available also to the agents to embark on tourism, you know, on in terms of sustainability of tourism for the agent. Thank you very much. If there are no other suggestions or contributions, let's quickly move to the last paper in this. Yeah, thank you, Professor Ali, for that presentation on the senior citizens in the society. So we'll take a bibliometric analysis of sustainability research in the food industry. And that's going to be taken by Professor Pasri Omar.
Yes, Professor.
Yes, you're welcome. You have 10 minutes.
Thank you for this opportunity. Hi, dear colleagues. Today I will present my presentation, which is a bibliometric analysis of sustainability research in the food industry. What's the main point in this presentation? First of all, the sustainability in food industry has become a central priority because of rising food demand, environmental pressure, and need for sustainable food systems. Food production, distribution, and consumption are deeply interconnected with ecosystems, relying heavily on land, water, and energy, while simultaneously contributing to greenhouse gas emissions, biodiversity loss, and resource depletion. The research gap of this study is we looking for the how is the literature is growing and what is the lack of the point in this area, and also what food industry is needed to focus. The aim of this study is to map sustainable research in the food industry using a bibliometric analysis. For this aim, we collect data from the Web of Science database. We reach 3,295 articles, and we use WoS-Viewer analysis to categorize these articles and to reach the information we are looking, like thematic, which others is more contributed, and also we're looking for the others parameter. When you look at this graph, when you look at this figure, you can see the publication trend is after especially 2000, it was increased, and especially after 2010 and 2015, this increase is sharply. Actually this as expected result, because after the Sustainable Goals Development was published by the United Nations, and then the trends focus in this area, and especially this increased trend is for food industry also we can observe this trend. Also, citation trend is growing, and when we look at the after the publication trends increase, also citation trends was increased as expected. We're looking for the which science, which categorizes actually this is Web of Science categorizes the distribution of research areas reveals that publication activity is highly concentrated within a few dominant fields. The environmental science accounts for the largest shares publication, followed by food science and technology, and green and sustainable science and technologies was the third subject area. Additional, there is a environmental studies, nutrition and dietetics is the other trend we can observe in this study. When we look into collaboration, especially based on the collaboration map, we see the United States is the major country provided contribution in this area. After that, China is the another big country to provided more contribution in this area. When we looking the which institution provided more contribution in this area, we can see the Wageningen Research Institution for this area, and the lead the primary author for contribution is the Smith-Kastner for the contribution of the sustainability in food industry. The main point actually we looking for the another point is the keywords. Actually, keywords using in these studies. The keyword occurrence analysis provide a comprehensive view of the thematic structure of sustainable research in the food industry. As expected, food consumption is the primary keywords because this is important for part of the production and part of the consumption. In the food industry, we majorly focus on the consumption part, and as you see, we can observe the 5 main cluster, and actually when you can use the based on the thematic temporal overlay, you can see the previous studies focus on the growth of physiological of the like growing food in the land, or also physiological properties of the area, how affect the result of the food. But nowadays the most for studies focus on the consumption and health part, and also especially food security, another parameter. Also, we can observe the environmental impacts parameter also involved in this part of the studies, and also sustainable is the another trend for recent studies.
Professor Mark, you will have to round up in 2 minutes.
Thank you, Professor. I am almost done. And based on our studies, we can observe that the studies in the field is expansion, and we can see most interdisciplinary focus is requested, because yes, many studies as nowadays published by interdisciplinary focus, but still we need to more interdisciplinary focus in this area. Also, as I mentioned, the growing global participation, because food is not only point for the several countries. This is important parameter for all world. That's why we can observe the developing countries also put participation in this growing global diversity. Thank you so much for listening to me. Please let me know if you have any question.
Thank you, Professor Omak, for that presentation on the food industry and its sustainability, a bibliometric analysis. Are there any questions or suggestions for Professor Omak in this study? Well, let me kick off by giving you, by asking, having done this analysis, what do we expect in the research in the food industry in the short term, in the medium term, and in the long term?
Yes.
Yeah.
Please go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, you want me to repeat?
No. I thought you didn't finish your question. That's why I say sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, I've finished. The medium,
Okay.
The short, the medium, and the long term.
Okay. Actually, in the food industry, so far we have several technologies to use to extend the shelf life or provide the food safety in the food. This is our main concern so far. But after the Sustainable Development Goals were explained by United Nations, the trends was changed. Like as I mentioned, our actually in my slides here. Sorry for that. The first studies were focused on the how the behavior of like you make farming, but how farming condition affect my foods. But after the sustainable development goals were explained, the research focused on the how this technology I used, how this technology will affect this environmental, how I can provide, okay, I provide food safety, I provide healthy food, but how I affect the environmental. Actually, this is the dynamic right now, and that's why I expect in the future most study will studies with the collaboration, because I need, okay, I will use this technology to provide safe food, but at the end of this process, how will I affect the environmental process? And that's why I expect for longer term, the technology we use in food industry will be combined with environmental science.
All right. Thank you. The talk about organic foods, inorganic, and all that will continue. I said the talk about what is organic food and what is inorganic or artificial will continue.
No, actually, sorry, Professor. This is not about the organic or non-organic, because in the organic terms is different. Like you have your certificate, you say I provide this food as organic. This means you, when you collect this food, when you harvest your food, you should have some requirement. That's why you get organic label. But when we talk about work, the organic food is very limited, because most of the foods growing from the traditional, like conventional method. That's why this is about actually the general food concept, because I want to produce food which has longer shelf life and also provided food safety. But the end of this term, what I did to environment, because so far we didn't have to answer this question. We just said I provided a food which is a safe and it has a good shelf life. That's point so far.
All right. So where are you going at the next level after this bibliometric analysis? Your own
actually, my research, I want to, especially using food irradiation technology. Yes, in many cases we say food irradiation is provided and is provided longer shelf life, is provided safety. Also, we can reduce the environmental effect, but still we don't prove that in the experiments part. That's why my point, I will focus on the how when I use food irradiation in my process, at the end of, because in the end of I have waste, how this waste will be affect the environmental concept.
All right, we wish you all the best in your next level of research, and we hope
Thank you
that
so much.
you'll be coming to update us at
Thank you
the
so much.
quality, the AMER conferences about the next stages in your research. Thank you very much. All participants, this is a good end to our session. I'd like to thank everyone that participated in this session and commend you for the wonderful work that you all are doing. And we're looking forward to you, updating us your next level of research. Thank you very much. Professor Yusuf.
Yes, I still cannot see you.
I don't know what Zoom did, but the confusion at the beginning, it didn't make me to explore more, about the technology of making sure that everybody sees me. Actually, would love to see everybody like I'm seeing Professor Melissa Jintin and Dr. Sally and the rest of everyone. I didn't see Professor Subramaniam too, Dr. Gita. Oh, okay.
Hi, Prof.
Nice. Okay.
Yes,
good morning from here.
Quite unfortunate the participants cannot see you, Prof. Babatunde. Yeah. Anyway, sorry for disturbing your morning sleep in Nigeria. It's quite awkward time, but that's the way it is going global. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much again. Hope to see you sometime in April for the next conference. We will be having it in Kuching, Sarawak, in Borneo. Yeah, in March, April, inshallah. Yeah. So hope, Prof. Babatunde, hope you can, still join us, or for that matter, come over to Malaysia, and join us live.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. For the rest of the participants, I know some might not be joining us for the face-to-face tomorrow, which we actually invite all actually to participate. Anyway, just in case that if you might miss tomorrow, I'd like to remind that please attend the post-conference, which is going to be held on the 7th, which is on this coming Wednesday. It's very, very important because we do not want you to be surcharged, especially not only for the best paper award winners, because some of you might be winning the cash show of total about 10,000 ringgit match. I know you all are not in the running because you are in the virtual, but more importantly, make sure that you are not surcharged, because we will go through tutorial one by one. Okay, so that's your last bastion, not to be surcharged, and we will go slowly, one by one. The main idea is actually we do not want to surcharge you all, but if you do not attend, we cannot help you much. We have to surcharge because we have to push ourselves for the next conference. So time is not on our side actually. We just touch and go. So I hope all of you can at least spare some time. If you cannot attend, please at least one of the authors attend so that you know that how to go about it. And like I say, we do not like to surcharge, but we have to do it because we have to move fast. Okay, so please attend. And I think it has been a very good morning session this morning. Very lively discussion, a lot of interesting papers actually. It brightens up the day anyway. So it's a good start for this conference, and hopefully we'll end up tomorrow. Anyway, thanks again for those camera shy. Yeah, you are actually being recorded, and you'll be in YouTube. So thank you again. Yeah. So we'll continue again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Prof.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Prof.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.